the present, the fire still alive. Two tides collide, but only one survives. Giant slayers. Oh, 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 we the giant slayers. Oh, oh, we the giant slayers. Yeah, from the dusty old days in the Meadowland to the heart of Texas where the big star stands. Decades of war, blood, sweat, and pride. Every clash feels like a landslide. Blue or silver, traditional display. Every snap writes a story in a brand new way. Legends built on the bruises and scars. This is more than a game, it's who we are. Giant slayers, to on the bruise and scar. This is more than a game, it's who we are. Giant slayers, under the lights. Battleground ready, we gon' fight all night. From the past to the present, the fight still alive. Two titans collide, but only one survives. Giant slayer. Oh, oh, we the giant slayer. Yeah, yeah. Storms in the sky, hear the crowd roar, roar. Every dime matters when you're keeping score. Destiny calls, can't hide. When the whistle blows, it's too late. Giant slayers. Under what yang?
Se va, sáquenme la botella que funda pa' gastarle. Esta noche tú y yo nos vivimos la película. Luces, cámara, la acción, después en mi recámara. En el duelo no se sabe quién ganará. So baile y baby, ese seguro y retrocede. Que me encanta la manera en que tú lo mueves.
Solo pégate un poquito, mami, que yo quiero enseñarte lo que yo tengo pa' ti. Lo que tengo pa' ti. Sé que te va a encantar.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Primetime Studios. Like always, I'm your host, Primetime Phil, and we are into week 2. Yes, week 2 of the NFL season, and as many seasons, and hopefully many more to come, my co-host is in the building, and of course, that's Gametime, Bryan. Welcome back, Bryan. Welcome back.
Welcome back. Anyway, Phil, good evening, brother. How are you? Friday night here, right? We're going live on a Friday. How are you?
Doing it live. I got a Gametime. I got a super chat from Gametime. Let's get this party started. I like it. I
just wanted to, warm up the waters for everybody to get them super chats flying. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
It's like adding that money onto the tip jar. Yeah, I've had that thing as a bartender.
Yeah.
I've thrown my little cash in there to kind of get people started on that thing. But I appreciate it, Bryan. I really do, man. Of course, you know how I love to dump the money right back into it, and of course, bring into the graphics as well. But as pretty as that may sound, I think the prettiness needs to be pushed aside, and we need to do hit some smash mouth football in the next up and coming weeks. And I think this is a great time to start. And I feel a lot more confident, of course, when we talked about football and going into the season. We knew who our first matchup was going to be. We kind of already predicted the outcome, whether it was good or whether it's bad, and we kind of knew what kind of team we have. And so as we go into the next following week, I think I know for sure. I don't know about you, but I'm going to see you're on the same page where you feel a little bit more about who you know as the identity of this team. Like obviously it's week 1, you can't say, hey, this is who they are going into the rest of the 16 to 17 weeks. But, I mean, you get a better feeling about how the cohesiveness of maybe the defensive line or the offensive line or quarterbacks to running backs, everything. I mean, going into week 2, how are you feeling about this team, Bryan?
It's one of two things, Phil. It's one of two things, and we're not going to know, right? The overwhelming majority of the people said, oh, well, the Eagles are the best team, right? And Dallas is a long way to go. After week 1, only one of two things can be true. Either Eagles aren't as good as everybody thought, and Dallas just, you kept it close, or Eagles are good and Dallas is better than people thought. You really can't have it any other way unless you're just not being fair about it. Is Dallas as good as how they showed last week, or are Eagles not as good? I think we're going to learn a lot more in the weeks to come. Maybe not this week, but I think your first win is your most important win, right?
Yeah,
and
I
we got
agree.
a super chat from Philly D. I'll read it for you, brother. You can play your sound effects. Philly D, gotta love Primetime. He keeps it real when his temper is boiling, turns into Mr. T.
He's not wrong. I mean, he's not wrong.
Insert cash or select payment type.
So,
I
basically,
gotta get more clips. I get it.
Thank you
yeah, I
very
can't
much.
hear it.
Oh,
I'm
no?
sorry.
Oh, I gotta put it.
Yeah, I can't. It's like
Let me know if does the chat hear
it's
it?
in and out. It's in and out.
Okay.
I'm sure they hear it. I don't hear it.
So
that's why
I gotta know if they can hear it. Then I gotta change all this. Gotta change the settings as they keep updating
I
OBS
know.
and everything. So I have to
I
kind
don't
of
have
keep
any
my
of
game
that
up.
either.
But let me know if you guys can hear it. But anyways, Brian, I mean, as we go into this matchup, I mean, I think we had a good NFC East clash on Wednesday, bringing in Cobb Pizzle, but
I listened to it. It was good.
yeah, it was yeah, people want to say I brought a little bit of swagger. I guess it depends on the side of the coin you're on. I mean, swagger, or I was a little bit of an ass. I don't know. Tomato, right? But that's what the NFC East clash is all about. I mean, we got week 1, already 2 games. I mean, each side had to go into the divisions and play, and of course, both of them walks out with a loss. So now we're going into the second matchup with, I don't want to. I personally don't believe this, but you're hearing this a lot in this past week. A trap game, or oh, we can't lose this game. Already a must win. In your eyes, is this already a must win type of game?
Yeah, it's a must win because just the sheer how Dak Prescott has played against the Giants. Dak Prescott has won 13 games in a row against the New York Giants. He's won 13 games in a row against the Giants. So it is a must win. Your first win is always, in my opinion, the hardest to get in the books. You do not want to start out 0-2, especially with the schedule coming up. Yes, this is a must win. You win at home. It's a divisional game. You're already 0-1 in the division. Again, let's replay that just for a second here for the people in the cheap seats. And we'll get to Chris Dooley in a second. But, we were not expected to be even remotely in the game on banner night against the Eagles.
And
Just
even that's me
listening to
including.
this
That's
history.
me including. I wasn't putting us in that game at all.
The Eagles are supposed to win their home game against the Cowboys, especially on banner night. You're supposed to win. Have you ever heard the saying that your season really hasn't started until somebody loses a home game?
No.
You have to win your home games. That's 8,
Yeah.
right? I'm not saying you're going to win them all, but in theory, that's 8. And if you win half of your road games, now you're in the playoffs.
Fatty.
That's where you're at here. So you asked me the question, and it is a must win. Yes. Chris Dooley with the super chat. Time Brothers holding it down after that game last night. I'm off to the pub. Hit the likes and have a good evening.
Oh man, I appreciate it,
Listen,
Chris.
enjoy it, brother. I know it was a rough game for you. Phil,
Yes.
any comments?
Well, I mean, I don't know, man. There's a lot of angles,
Dooley.
for Chris. I mean, I appreciate the love. He kicked my ass. He was able to do the nice comeback with his running back last week and able to beat me by a couple of points in the fantasy draft. So nothing but respect. I love the knowledge there. But yeah, man, when you're a team that, like, let's be real, you had a good matchup going into there. I think they felt pretty confident. But again, we don't know what Green Bay is, and they're coming out firing. That's awesome, for them. They're definitely jumping on that band. I don't want to say they're drinking the Kool-Aid in that sense, but because they were a playoff team last year. But I mean, to them, that trade is definitely feeling worth it. I always look at it, and people were asking me about it, and again, I always feel like $47 million. That's a big chunk for what he's bringing. Not to say he's not amazing. Again, I wish him nothing but the best, except for when he plays us. So when I see him playing like that, I'm like, yeah, do your thing, man. And now all of a sudden the refs are seeing the holding calls, all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of a bit funny, and then everybody sees stuff right now. But when I look at these teams, man, going into week 2, I think there's some crazy matchups that are already from the week 1, but I mean, you already got some teams that are dealing with injuries like San Francisco. I mean, that one, I guess I'm not shocked, but at the same time, I am a little bit. Retro Game Grub and Cowboys says, we will be fine, relaxed, easy peasy, 34-16 Dallas.
I like it, Chris. I like it. Stay tuned for the mailbox pick and soul pick.
Yes. So as we go into week 2, I think there's a lot of positives you can take from that game. Obviously, being as close as it was, we've talked about that. We brought it up on your channel and what we thought happened with the game. So there's no really kind of going back and really kind of reliving that, in the sense that, hey, man, they didn't finish it out. When it comes down to it, they just, let's be real, they weren't clutch in the end. And whether it's a whole team effort, that's why I say it. I look at CD Lamb and think about those drops, but it goes more than beyond just that. So I look at the Miles Sanders fumbles and stuff like that. So coming out of that game, going into this game, what do you want to see different or more of?
I want to see us to get, this is my main thing of the game. Everybody's talking about receivers, right, Phil? And listen, I understand. I want to see another game of the running game doing what they did in Philly and more at home, okay? I want to see more of the running game. I want to see more of the up front, because if we could run the football against the Eagles and then turn around and do it, all due respect, a better defensive line with the New York Giants, then now it's something special. I was listening to Jake Ferguson's interview while walking my mail route today. But yeah, I was. And he was talking about Clayton Adams and what he has brought to this running game. And he is like, you could see the difference.
There's some running schemes I've seen that I've never seen kind of ran, and so I give him credit. There's a lot of stuff where I'm like, oh, you're pulling, the way that they're pulling the guards.
I mean, Clayton Adams, he'll be a freaking coach. You watch. I don't know. Somebody sent that to me. He'll be hired next year as a coach, but it is what it is. He is very, very good at what he does. He's always been able to do it. I made a statement that just because of him, we'll have a mid-pack running game. I still believe that. Okay, I still believe that. So I want to see them run the ball. Again, I understand I'm going to predict a lot of points scored, and it will be through the air. But you have to be able to run the ball in this league.
Yeah.
And you can, so I'm excited to see.
If I had to go in both of those categories, if I had to see something different, I want to see effort from my wide receivers. I think again, like the blocking downfield, I already saw, again, CeeDee Lamb, of course, with the concentration drop. That's great. He's addressing that in his mind. He's getting fired up, and that's awesome and all. But, I'm also thinking about the blocking downfield, and he's looking at the referee for something, and he's not blocking, or Tolbert kind of looking at the play as guys tackle the running back and stuff like that, or even picking stuff like. So there's been some times where I saw that the wide receivers weren't blocking. When CD and Pickens were off to one side, they thought, oh, we're drawing the coverage, that's enough. No, man, they came running in and making tackles. So I need to see more from them, especially if you're going to continue to have the running game. But if I had to go, I'm going to go a little bit and poke from last year, and I'm going to say I'm already at that point where I want to see a feature back. I want to see a guy holding us. If it's Javonte Williams, let's ride those wheels until they fall off. And, if it's game 4, game 5, where at the time he's injured, he's out for a couple games, then guess what? The next man stands up and he's your featured back. I just feel like, when he was in the game, they were running the ball where, yes, Miles Sanders had that long run, but I feel like that was a lot of the blocking that was involved. The blocking scheme at that point was kind of just different, and it threw the defense off. All of a sudden, he busts one, and and a lot of people point out if it was blue, he would have kept on going, and he wouldn't have been caught. So you got to watch those type of situations, and you can't give the Giants more, because they're going to need as many opportunities as they can. It just depends. All of a sudden Russell Wilson can click his heels and turn on the Cinderella story and just destroy you, and then the next following week do the Jameis Winston thing and throw a bunch of interceptions. So don't let it be this week. And it's definitely a recipe for getting pressure on him. Brian, I know you covered it on your channel. I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about how you get pressure on or how you throw Russell Wilson off his game.
Well, Russell Wilson is the type of quarterback where if he's sorry, I got somebody coming in the door here.
Yeah, so
just give me a sec.
no, you're good. And so when you look at Russell Wilson, I think immediately if he can rush around and run around and kind of thing, and that's old Russell Wilson being able to run around and totally use his legs immediately. But if you can keep him in the pocket, I think, and push him back instead of allow him to step up. I think that's his weakness right now. He doesn't seem to be throwing. Occasionally he'll throw one out of his butt, but
I mean, here's the deal with Russell. If you can get him, he's a shorter guy. You always hear it, but if he's able to step up in the pocket and then he can make some plays. Mm-hmm. If you like, you played the position. If you're throwing out of a bucket or if you're throwing off your back foot, then that's what you want. You want Russell to have to play backwards.
When I was in my first 2 years as playing quarterback, I would admit that when I'd feel pressure, I'd kind of roll out. I'd roll out of there through my tackles, and the moment that I realized later on that you could step up, just one step can throw everything off of someone's pattern, and it would just opened up the game for me so much. Just that one step. And
people don't realize that. They're like, oh my God, you got to get away, you got to go. No, then you just close half the field away, right? And now you got to hope somebody's working. You have a smart receiver that's working their way back towards you or something. There's a lot of you have to flush the pocket unless you're an unbelievable athlete, Phil. Right? It's an issue.
Yep. Jimbo, thank you very much. Hit the likes. I like it. Thank you, man. But when we look at hold on, let me switch it over. Another thing what I was going to is, it was just, again, the feature back type of whole situation. I thought we ran the ball better. I thought it was just a little bit more efficient. It seems to have attitude, but I obviously know where they're using him more on short yardage gains, and because he's, there was a point where I felt like he was 2-3 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and then he just keeps, his effort got the first down. So, I did love his running. And again, I'm at that point where it just, do you run into the wheels fall off and then kind of go to the next person kind of there? Ultra Cowboy said it takes a special talent to deal with stupid.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong at all. Flip Shelton, what's going on, brother?
That should be something, a skill you should be able to put on your resume.
Philly was the champs last season. This is a new season now. What's up, 5-time, Jay? What's up, 5-time? What's up, 5-time? Rolando Rodriguez, Primetime have to contain your lanes on defense. Don't let Russ scramble for first downs. Again, Rolando, and that's a good thing we can transition into. Thanks, Rolando. That's kind of goes into my thing. Phil, I'll ask you. I think Dallas is going to do a lot of similar things, but Russell will not be able to burn you like Hurts does. So your thought on that, Phil, and then I got some more stuff.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was looking at Clemente's he said, Primetime, you gave me a wrench, brother. Yes, definitely, man. I appreciate the support. So what were you saying about Russell?
Now, I was just saying that he was saying, Rolando was saying you have to be cognizant of the scrambles by Russell Wilson. Now, we just got done playing Jalen. He's top 2, top 3 in the league when it comes
and we know that we've never discouraged in the sense to saying that we understand he's a really good scrambling quarterback, and he's good at avoiding big hits too. So he's been able to do that with a lot through his career. So good for him. But he's right. I mean, if you don't have lane integrity, you're gonna get burned. We've seen this defense in the past do it. Where the defensive ends start to crash around and then just boom, they just eliminate themselves. I think Micah Parsons was a big contributor to that. And I'm not trying to poke it, but we've all saw it. We saw how he would rush it, and when they tend to scramble out. when you see
You know it's
Love,
coming.
Daniels,
You know
you
it's
seen those
coming
two
now.
scrambled. What happened? He chased him down from behind because he over pursued. So it's there.
You know
That's
it's
what he
coming.
does.
They're gonna. Oh, now you're gonna say it. Now you're gonna say
No,
it.
but I really do. We were saying this stuff before about him, but obviously we would love to have kept him. Our defense is not really the same, but when people try to take out the irony of Jerry going, oh well, we were one player away. Well, remember we had Kenny Clark also manning that defensive line, helping us. So if we were one man away on top of that, I think that's easy to say in the sense of like an overshown.
I would
or any
say
of those.
this. I think that Dallas Cowboys are in a better position this week than they were last week. They can play the defense. I'm sure Russell. Well, yeah, he can get out, but he's nowhere near the athlete that Jalen Hurts is, especially at this stage of the game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're not going to be juking and doing all those things to our linebackers. I mean, you might get one or two, but throughout the game, but it's not going to be like where Jalen did it, like 3 and 4 in a play. So it's like it's totally it's totally a different style of running. But excuse me.
5 time. What's up?
Man, a little bit of heartburn right there.
There you go. I hope it's a heartburn.
When I look at our
Dropping on us
defense
in
with
the
Kenny
middle of
Clark,
life.
I look back at that game, and I'm not trying to put anything on I'm more looking on our side of the ball and what they were able to do. Like times where the bodies were on them. Kenny Clark shaking the things. Osa Digizua shaking bodies. So James Houston. I saw a mixture of a lot of people. It wasn't just one guy making it. Solomon Thomas rotating, flipping around from his from the center coming in, and then he makes the play on Barkley. So I loved what I saw in the sense of the potential there. I just need to see it more consistent, early in games. That way, it kind of it takes them out of those situations where they are running and now you're just passing. So they just kind of need to work it all together. And when I listen to these coaches, like you're talking about Clayton Adams, I loved his answers this week. What he was talking about. There's a lot of good stuff on tape and there's a lot to learn from, but these guys, we're nowhere near perfection, Yeah, well, Haley, that's going to be interesting. Yeah, and I like to transition to that too. Haley brings up the fact that can't wait to see how Reddy is. It Reddy? Is that what it is?
Yeah, his name is Reddy Stewart. Again, he has experience with Matt Eberflus, a bigger guy, 6'2". He's going to play the slot along with Zion Childress. He has experience in the league. He's a guy that they brought in, and then this is why they let guys like Mukwamu go. They just kind of flipped the bottom of the roster for younger guys. Mm-hmm. Very athletic guy. We'll see. Again, this week shouldn't be bad. We really should be able to do what we want.
Even with Bland out of the lineup, right? I mean, are you surprised with that one?
Yeah, well, I'm hearing that they're going to use Wanye and Marquise actually as in coverage as well. So you're going to see that this week. So don't panic too much with Reddy Stewart. You got Bland out, obviously. You got Diggs. They were just being ultra careful. They were, no pun intended, ultra, but they were being ultra careful with Diggs. They had an 8-week timetable of his rehab. They were entering the 8th week. So they gave him a pitch count last week, and he came out with flying colors. So he's going to have the full slate. You'll have Kyer Elam, who in a perfect world would be a third guy. But you will see Marquise Bell and Phil's guy, Wanye Thomas, which they did all a training camp and use them as nickel guys in the secondary. So that's what you're going to see. And thankfully, you don't have that scare. I mean, Malik Neighbors, okay, well, they can roll coverage this way. Dallas will probably play a similar defense like both teams were doing it last week, Eagles and Dallas. A double high, 2 safeties back. Don't let anything behind you. That's what they're going to do. They're going to try and get home with 4 with their stunts. They're not going to blitz a lot. And I think you will be able to do that even better this week, Phil.
Yeah.
Against
I agree.
the Giants as opposed to the Eagles, right?
Yeah.
And their offensive
we all know
line.
that. Yeah, definitely.
So,
can't argue that. We understand the level of difference there. Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll get to it when we talk about our offense, but I got a little something for the Giants. But anyway, yeah.
So let me ask you a question in the sense, do you see a difference in the defense? Do you see Luafau getting a lot more snaps?
Yeah, again, yes, absolutely. You heard you heard it from Eberflus. He has earned. That's the thing that Dallas is going by. Earns the right to play. And let's face it, when you come in and you are one of the coach's guys, you're going to get first cracks, meaning Jack Sanborn, meaning, they're going to get the first cracks.
Yeah.
The bottom line. Not that he's not going to play. He knows how to get people aligned, but you're going to see Leofau, who's more of an athlete, sideline to sideline, more. Okay? That's what's going to happen. Yes, you'll see Leofau more, which is a good thing.
I love it, man. I think, the defense definitely stood up a lot better. I love the scheme. I love the effort. I think that's when you're looking at the New York Giants and their offensive line going against this defensive line. Thomas is out of the game, and just already a banged up offensive line that's going to have to deal with. Let's be real, a Cowboys team that did do a lot in pressures, didn't get any sacks and stuff, but I definitely see that changing this week. Who do you see being that leader of that defensive pass rush? Do you see it like a Fowler, like a veteran, or do you see it as a young guy coming in and doing something?
No, I think the leader is of the defensive line. That's a good question. I think the leader is Osa still. I think it's Osa, but I think Kenny Clark. You're going to go as Kenny goes right now, and I think Kenny Clark's going to eat against John Michael Schmitz this week. That's the whoever.
Let's just be real. The last time we saw this, Mozzie ate against him, and again, remember John Michael. Yes. That's one of our guys. We liked him coming out of the draft, so it's like to see him becoming like this. Obviously, we don't mind it too much because he's the rival.
He was a technician, right? Yes. We knew that it was a long shot that Dallas would get John Michael Schmitz because he was an undersized guy, but very, very technical, right? Yeah. But you see sometimes in the NFL, it's just better to be big and athletic than necessarily.
Yeah, we've seen that on our defense. I mean, we've seen that on our defensive
John Michael Schmitz would be better, though, if he had a better guy on either side of him. Yep. You know what I mean? It's kind of like I think he wouldn't be as bad as he's being pointed out, but the fact that he's kind of on an island, and
it's the speed that tends to get him more than anything. Right. I mean, he does. Don't get me wrong, he struggles with both power and speed, but the fact that speed tends to be his more of his weakness. He reminds me of Kevin Hart inside of Jumanji. How is speed my weakness? Like, how's the last of strength my weakness? How is that? Like, I wish I had a little sound clip of that. That was
Yeah, well, I like Kevin Hart, so I don't care if Thomas plays or not either.
Yeah, it does not. Yeah, they could play. They could play him.
There's a chance he's going to play, but again, that's not where I'm concerned about. If he plays,
the right tackle is really where they need to be concerned about. Yeah,
so it's like, you brought up Fowler, right? And I'm not like so down on Fowler, but what needs to happen is you need to see less of Fowler in every down situations and more of Marshawn Nealon. Marshawn Nealon has
James
proven,
James Houston,
exactly. And that's what you need to do. I like Sam Williams, but to me, you can't have Sam Williams and Fowler out there at the same time for too long because they're both not really good run players. You know the Giants are going to come out and trying to run the ball. If I have to hear Jesse scream "Scattaboo," I'm going to go nuts because they're going to try and run the ball and set up, and they're going to force feed Malik Neighbors, and rightly so. They should, but I think they're going to try and run the ball. That's their only chance. Again, Dak has won 13 games in a row. I expect it to be 14. It's just how we get into there. I mean, are they going to take care of business, Dallas, and do the right things?
Or are they going to stumble across the way? Yeah.
I think, because there's two ways to come out of this game. Obviously, an L will be devastating, right? 0-2, 2 losses in the division. But there's three options here. Obviously, the loss. We're not even thinking that. A win, but looking and maybe having more penalties, maybe not looking crisp, and just eking one out. I'll take it. but I'm not going to be
Be
like
all happy and
very
pounding my
excited
chest.
going
Yeah.
into Chicago. But if we go out and put a nice win, score 30 points, and get a dub, then it's like, okay, all right, I'm feeling myself. We kept it close in Philly. Philly held serve. Again, people, they're supposed to hold serve. They were the Super Bowl champions. They were the biggest favorite of the weekend. We took them down to the final drive with a chance to win. That's all you can really ask for as a Cowboy fan. So if we could double that back now, Phil,
Yeah.
and get a big win at home against the Giants, then now I'm feeling nice. 1-1 going into Chicago. That's how I want to look at this, man. So we got to take care of business. That's what we got to do. No goofing around. CD, is going to have a big game, in my opinion. CD's gone and he ain't dropping shit. So get ready.
Well, and
So
I want to see,
I think Pickens eats too.
Obviously, yeah, I think that's what it is. I think I want to see Pickens involved. I want to see him start to get hot, and so to get him involved, and I'm not too much worried about what Jake Ferguson's doing at this moment. I think you start kind of flexing your muscles in the sense of your two wide receivers, start to get the teams to adjust to that, and then you whip out Jake Ferguson later on in the season when they start to adjust or roll two coverages, and now you only got one man-to-man down the seam with a linebacker or whatever you're trying to put on Jake Ferguson. So I think the recipe's there to definitely have success. Again, you're going to need the running game to kind of be successful and not be a liability, Miles Sanders. So I would say you expect him to hold on to the ball, but he knows he's had this problem. So I really can't expect him to just all of a sudden he's going to change it all, So, but anyways, as we'll switch it over, we'll go to the offense as we're talking about that. The wide receivers, the tight ends. What category do you want to go on this? You can start with the quarterback. How's Dak Prescott been? We talked about his record.
Yeah, Dak. He lost his first two games, close games against the Giants, and then has rattled off 13 in a row. He's won his last. He hasn't lost since his rookie year to the New York Giants. Again, he's missed some games, but he's won 13 in a row. I mean, again, I don't know what it is. It's the colors. That's probably why the Giants fans respect Dak Prescott, because he literally owns them more than any team. So I expect Dak to get the ball in CDs. Everybody said, well, you got to get CD involved. Yeah, I mean, George Pickens involved. George Pickens is going to be fine. Here's the deal. The Giants play single high safety. For some reason, the Giants think that they have this great coverage unit, and instead of being a little bit careful, they play single high, which means what? Well, that means one safety.
The outsides are open, yeah.
Yeah. So they're going to eat. They are going to eat. Expect George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb. If you have Dak Prescott, start him in your fantasy. He's going to get you 300. They're both going to have 100 yards receiving this week. So, again, the Giants have Banks. They had since not benched him, but he's not even a starter now at the University of Maryland. He's at least an athlete. They're going with another guy. I can't think of his name, but not real good. What makes the Giants go is that defensive line front. That's it. And Dallas has done fairly good against their defensive line. They've added Abdul Carter. Yeah, he almost blocked 2 punts last week, but there's rumor that he may play some linebacker because of the linebacker is out indefinitely. Their best linebacker, McFadden. Okay, if you're gonna not have him rush the passer, I'll take it. I'll take that. Yeah. So Dak's gonna be fine. I'm just really curious to see if we can run the ball. My question to you, Phil, is: are you starting Jaden Blue this week? Or are they starting Jaden Blue this week?
Well, whether I would have him playing. I want him to start getting some touches. But what I've heard is that they're not going to have him active at all. I don't know how true that is. I think I've heard him and the Mozzie are kind of in that same boat. They want to kind of go with what they have. Maybe it's one of those things, though, too. It's they want to see more consistency in practice. I've heard of that,
Bingo. That's it.
And maybe they're waiting for the wheels.
Playbook.
Yeah, maybe
they don't want to put him out there
on a third down play where we're gonna need something, and he messes.
They don't want to
something
get that killed out there if he doesn't know the
pick up a blitz.
pickup or something, especially against this defensive line.
Yeah.
I'll be curious to see if they play him. I think you roll out Miles, or maybe get Lepke some touches. More importantly, get Williams more. Williams earned it, in my opinion. So I would probably roll it out again. I would make sure this kid is really well versed. Again, they're going to let him play. But yeah, I'm just curious if he plays. But yeah, I think that this is a perfect game for the Cowboys to get healthy, so to speak. And I think this is the one game you can afford not to have Bland. I really do. I don't know that him not being in this game would hurt anywhere near if he didn't have him last week. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. I definitely agree on that one.
Yeah.
Now, when we're talking about, obviously you're talking about the running backs and who you think, who you want in there. You're talking about Blue not being in there. Is Malik Davis kind of being thrown in that mix a little bit? I
don't think so, man. I don't. I think if I hear what you're saying. I like Malik. I do, but now I would go Davis over Malik. I think I think they probably wanted to get Lepke more involved. So if there's any carries extra, I think you give him the Hunter Lepke. I think, but I would go Williams and Sanders again, and smatter in Kavontae Turpin a little more. It seems like every time he gets the ball from the running back position, he's getting 5-6 yards, literally every time. So I think that's where I would go. I would get Turpin involved. There you are. Hey, Jesse, I had to reach out. He's in there blowing us up in the group chat. I'm like, we're live. Do you not have your bell notifications on, sir?
He says the evil one is here. He goes, hey, people, Bryan, Primetime, the evil one is here. Yeah, you were
in the weeds, all right?
Yeah, still, you're getting further and further back in there, like your ball. You're looking for your ball in golf and stuff like that. You're in the deep weeds, those are called trees, man.
Yeah, they're trees.
But no, man, I appreciate the support, Jesse, man. We love having it. Love talking the trash, especially with NFL season here. Now, as we talk about the offense, we talk about the running backs, the tight end, I kind of want to jump into the tight end position. I think that's the one that's a little bit forgotten. You got Jake Ferguson.
Man. He dropped 2 potential touchdowns last week.
Yes,
again, the drops.
Yes. And people were like, well, it wasn't the throw. Like, I'm a quarterback, man. That throw there, that should have been caught. That definitely should have been caught.
It does.
And when you look at Schoonmaker, what he had, that would have been a highlight catch against 2 defenders. The ball was perfectly placed. That's your safety blanket. That's the places that you're supposed to, like, when I need that first down, this is where I need to be able to go. And no matter what, I'm going to be able to put it in there, and they're going to catch it, and I don't have to worry about it bouncing off their hands and getting intercepted. And then you're doing that kind of stuff. So, I mean, to me, I think I don't even know if I'm doing any other drills than catch this damn ball type of drills. It's just carry this ball all around, flow it up in the air, catch it. I'm tired of the non-contributing from the tight end position, because guess what? It's a good group, and they just need to get their shit together.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, the drops were there. Dallas had, they caught half of them. They probably get the W again. That's just a fact. So they need to hold on to the ball. But what I think separates is Eagles play a zone defense. If you look at the all-22 of that game last, there were a lot of guys open just by the way that the teams played each other in that zone. There wasn't many guys running free. Again, the Giants seem to feel like that they can afford to go single high. Well, there's going to be guys running free, okay? There's going to be blown coverages.
Man, screw this, man. I think it's one of those weeks where you go, okay, we need to go 3 safeties. That's what you need to go. You need to go 3
if the Giants are smart, they would look and see what the teams are doing, play zone, keep everything in front of you, and,
like, well, we don't want to confuse our guys. They can barely run their own plays. Now they're going to try to run different plays.
Then they're going to get beat. Again, Pickens was number 1 in the league for man coverage. He's going to burn you. He's going to win 9 out of 10 times. It's not a 50-50 ball. It's a 90-10 ball with George Pickens. So just interested as to why the Giants feel they need to play that way. But and remember, they went out and had for what we thought, they had a good draft. Remember, they got the safety out of I believe Minnesota. What's his name? Remember, we really liked him. Tyler Nubin, and he, again, it's only been one game, but he didn't look great. He got exposed a lot last week as a young player.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they have a few young guys in that secondary. So they do have Javon Holland, Oregon's own.
Mm-hmm. Good pickup.
It's going to take a little bit. We're playing them at a good time.
Well, I mean, if anything can keep them in this game, if anything can, is the defense. That's what we're talking about. The defensive front being able to get pressure, causing some havoc to where it's causing problems in the passing game. And maybe you are plugging up those holes and you're not getting that push on Dexter Lawrence. Because let's be real, man. We've had a double team in the past. I don't see that changing at any point right now. I mean, you have to respect the game that's there. And so kind of go from there. If you have to chip, and I've seen plenty of times where Abdul Carter, this whole preseason and everything, where people are getting some nice little shots to the ribs, knocking him off his feet. I saw it in college as well too. So if you can get some good little chip shots on him as he's coming in as rush, you're going to really be able to affect him early and then kind of knock him out of his game. And so if you can do that, I think you're going to find a lot of success early with him. But if you can't, I think it needs to be quick passes just to your receivers. I mean, you have the ability to do that. These guys have amazing getting off. We talked about it. I think you talked about it last week where I think I heard it somewhere where CeeDee Lamb playing off the ball, like somebody's playing off of him, his success rate is a lot less than if somebody's pressing him.
Him against zone, but that was last year. Those numbers were based
off of Cooper Rush
off of
Lance.
Cooper Rush. Again, you kind of have to throw that out because that's not really, Again, Lamb caught, 10 balls last week for over 100 yards against the Eagles, and he dropped 4. Come on, you would have had a monster game. So, but listen, he dropped them, so that's on him. So
let me hit you on this last. Okay, sorry. If you got something.
No, that was it. That was my thought.
Let me hit you because I'm really excited about this part of this conversation here. The offensive line for this Cowboys team. I'm a little bit more pumped up about what I saw from them. Obviously, it's not an all-star game. They're not playoff bound, but the improvement from what type of team we had last year to seeing the cohesiveness, knowing that it's only game one, they have to still get through a whole season before you really get that thing going where they talk about, we've had some people in the conversation where we talk about week 5, maybe even where Linda Collins says where 8, 9 sometimes before your offense really or your defense kind of forms as well too. So I'm interested to see how that goes, but to see even a guy named Tyler Guyton kind of finding success this week, obviously he's going to be really tested a lot more than last week, but I like what the offensive line is doing. How are you feeling about this offensive line going forward? And what are your gripes, maybe?
It's unbelievably young. Tyler Guyton in year 2 looked very good last week. Controlled Nolan Smith. You have Cooper Beebe, I think, is right there as a Pro Bowler. He's knocking on the door to be a Pro Bowler in his second year. Tyler Booker passed with flying colors. Again, he's a rookie. And Tyler Smith is already all pro. So, and Terrence Steele in the run game was dominant last week. He struggled in pass pro. Mm-hmm. He didn't give up a sack because the Eagles didn't have a sack. But, he did, give in some pressures during passing down. So I love where this offensive line is going. I've been telling people, the haters don't want to hear it. They just want they suck. They learned last week that they don't suck, and they're only going to get better. Right, Phil? I think they're only going to get better.
Yeah, especially with the coaching of a Clayton Adams and all these guys, as they hit the get more reps with each other, that guy, when he's taking on this block, I should give him an extra second with that block to make sure that he really got his guys before I go to the next level. Like all these little things that you start learning about each other. And, I'm interested to see how they improve. And I, again, looking back, I love some of the run schemes that Clayton Adams has had. And I think that helps, now I don't want to say neutralize, but at least weaken those weaknesses that you may have on the offensive line, maybe shifting the line, stuff like that. So I do like the play. I do like the effort. I want to continue seeing this improvement. When you look at the pressures and everything and what they gave up, it's definitely more, very impressive. So yeah, I'm loving what I'm seeing there. I just, that's where we're going to live and die. We know that.
Think about this. Sorry, Jesse. This is a part of the show where you close your ears. Just cover your ears, Jesse. If the Giants had a hard time with Washington, right? You saw Washington last night. Again, Washington's offensive line does not look good, right?
Mm-mm.
I mean, Washington's O-line doesn't look good.
No.
Right? And the Giants really couldn't get through that. Do you think the Giants are going to have any more success on the road in Dallas? I don't think so. I mean, I think
if they can keep their stars in, they'll find more success. I don't know if they'll find the success, but if you keep your stars in on more than just 6 plays together, I think you may start to find something there.
Yeah.
But I think there's so much more to improve on. So I'm interested to see if that Giants defense also improves. But you know how these rivalry games go, man. They can be so lopsided, and they can be so damn close by the end.
All this being said, the Giants will get the ball, go down, and score a touchdown, and then they won't score much the rest of the half. But I could see something freaky like that happen. So, Randy McIntyre, Daniel took a beating last night. He did. Daniels did take a beating. I think he had an MRI today. He was limping the hell around, and that's after, the second game of the season.
Yeah.
Is Wayne Brady gonna have to choke a bitch?
Yeah, exactly. So he's No, so when it comes to this offensive line, I definitely I look forward to the future pieces that that are going to complement that. I think the right tackle, I still think Steele, I get at least it isn't like a Chaz Green situation, but I still see the struggle sometimes, but he is playing better football than he played last year, and again, one game. But again, against good competition. I think that's what I'm trying to explain, is that at least from the first game, he definitely lived up to that potential. When you look, let's go back over here. Now, do you want to go through the games?
Yeah, whenever you're ready, definitely want to go through the games.
Yeah, so I mean, we had the game last night. Green Bay took care of business, of course, against the Commanders. Were you surprised by that at all?
I was not.
Okay,
nope.
Yeah,
I had them, and they won. Yep. 27-18 again. Green Bay.
I would have thought
started
more.
off good, man.
Yeah.
But I mean, like I keep saying, the team that starts off this hot never finishes it that hot. It's again, you already see. I'm not wishing injury. That's part of the game, and how you are able to handle the injuries, right? Jaden Reed out with a broken collarbone. That's a long time. He may be back later, but he won't be the same this year. No. Again, we shall see. It's a long season.
Yes,
I saw Micah running his mouth at the end of the game.
Yeah. Again, it's going to be all about it. That's going to be the whole thing. He won't be able to shut up for the next year or two about us. So it's kind of like an ex-girlfriend, or an ex, whatever your preference is, that you're just trying to make it seem like, since they're going to see that broadcast, really, I'm going to make it seem like I'm happy. Yeah, he is. We can see it.
Like he hasn't heard from his teammates. Listen, what do you expect?
The top facility.
And we can touch on it. I mean, like, what do you expect, man?
The way that
they offered you a contract, you turned it down.
I think I'm more hurt in the sense that I want to take less money to sign more players.
Yeah, don't act like it's not about the money. Your mother is not happy that you listen to your agent. Yeah, because your mother's a smart lady. She knows there's more money on the table long term. Yeah, with Dallas. Even after your career.
That's good.
Yeah, forget the Ring of Honor. You're not even gonna. You ain't going in now. That's done.
Nope, it's done.
That's done.
You went from a hero to a villain now.
Yeah, you're gonna. Even if you win a Super Bowl, congrats. Once you see your career is over, and we heard from Terrence that you want to be done in 35. Yeah, you wouldn't sign a 5-year deal. You would not.
So let's go to the first game on Sunday at 1 p.m. game. We have the rivalry game in this sense to a team that used to be the old team, but now is a new team in the Cleveland Browns versus the Baltimore Ravens. I don't see this being any other way unless somehow Baltimore just can't get over the fact that they just dropped that from Buffalo. But I see Baltimore at home taking care of Cleveland. You never know what Cleveland's defense could do, but it's the offense.
Yeah, I got the Ravens. This is a handshake. Yeah, you know what? I can't say handshakes at halftime because this is always it's a divisional game. But yeah, give me the Ravens. The Ravens looked, at least their offense looked really good. Derrick Henry holds on to the ball. They beat the Bills. They're not going 0-2. They will win.
So, and I got you on that one, too. So, the next game is going to be Jacksonville versus Cincinnati. In Cincinnati, Jacksonville, both teams are 1-0, coming off of wins last week.
I'm going Cincinnati.
I want to pick Cincinnati. I think that's my pick, but I have a feeling like this could be an upset.
Yeah, it could.
But I'm going to go Cincinnati if I had to put all my money on something.
Yeah, I think Joe Burrow at home. I just think now, I was kind of interested to see Jacksonville traded Tank Bigsby. Okay, I mean, decent player. Had a horrible week last week. He did not play well, but nobody played well for Jacksonville. Jacksonville lost the game last week?
No,
right?
they won. The field goal kicker was kicking ass. That's the one that kicked a 70-yard field goal.
Okay, yeah. Just looking at it, the box score, of course I didn't start him. Trevor Etienne, 16 for 143.
So with this trade, if you're an Etienne fantasy
Tank
thing, you put him in
had, 5 carries for 12 yards. So again, but yeah, Jacksonville beat the brakes off the Carolina Panthers. So, but yeah, I'm with you. This could go either way. This is something I'd have to revisit, but I'm gonna stick with the Bengals here.
Yeah,
home team.
So we're gonna go ahead and skip.
Well,
we're gonna go ahead and skip NFL Network's next game, which is gonna be ours. We'll come back to and our predictions on that one. But then we got another divisional game, man. They're really mixing these in there, and I think I'm seeing a lot of this. So we got the Chicago Bears and Ben Johnson taking his new team back to his old team in Detroit and playing in Detroit. Chicago versus Detroit. What do you think about that matchup? As both teams look like, we look good, but then we look terrible over the rest of the game. So, what type of teams are they?
Yeah, sorry, my wife's just.
You got to distract us, something shiny.
It's a damn bug flying, so.
Trying to be on
Get
TV.
the fly swatter. Anyway, what are you asking me? Detroit. Yeah. I'm going with the Lions. Bears will be 0-2. Dallas will play an 0-2 Bear team. Detroit's not going 0-2. If you're telling me a Chicago or Detroit going 0-2, I don't see Detroit losing at home. Do you?
See, I don't either. Again, like I said, if you would have just shown me the first drive of Chicago's offense and not shown me anything else, I would have been like, oh my God, maybe Chicago is the shit. And Caleb Williams is going to be amazing because he was reading coverage like crazy. And then it went downhill. I'm interested to see if they started out at least hot or because of the emotions of playing your head coach's old team, if there's going to be something there, so I would like to see that. That makes interesting football, but if you had to bet on it, I mean, you got to go Lions, right? So, and he's just going crazy over there. So he's
fucking thing is big. Oh, it's like a hold up. I'll be right.
It's like I got a little miniature bat inside my house. Look at him. He's. I'm definitely going to be recording this and using it as a clip later. I just need him to run past the screen right now with the fly swatter in his hand and run back, the other way. Let's see what ends up happening. Live coverage of the of SWATgate. So when we look at this matchup, I mean, I think when you're looking at these two teams, you got to look at the talent level, right? I mean, Detroit has a lot more weapons and everything, and But Detroit looks a little lost right now with their new offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. I'm interested to see if they can find their identity, especially against a rival. I think this is the team that they can kind of fail a little bit and then come back and still win this game. So I'm interested to see what happens. He went Detroit as well. So we're gonna go ahead and go to the next game as he gets animal control over there and in his situation. So we're going to go against the New England Patriots with the Miami Dolphins. I think the Miami Dolphins looking extremely terrible last week, whether you're talking about defense, offense, Tyreek Hill looking frustrated like hell, wishing that he was still somehow was in Kansas City or just with any other team. But, I would expect them to be a little bit more. I know people in Miami are just calling for McDaniels to kind of be out of Miami. So I'm interested to see what happens there, if they can even get anything going. But how are you feeling about the New England Patriots going into the Miami?
Everybody's going New England. No, give me the Dolphins. Dolphins are going to get the W. Tua's going to bounce back. Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, they'll get the W.
Okay. I will go the opposite. I think I like this. I like this. Even though they're 0-1,
it wasn't
like
a fly
team.
A CZ. This thing is like a queen bee, and it's huge.
So you're not laying your nest here. I would go Patriots. I could go Miami.
It's not a fly. It's like this.
The fly. That fly kicked Game Time's ass.
Yeah, it's not a fly. It's big.
It's huge.
Big.
Okay, I got it now. Obviously, I have to play it. Where is it at? Where's my sound drop? Damn, man, I gotta get this more.
That's a huge bitch.
There we go. I had to figure out where that thing was. Pause. As we go now, San Francisco.
I'm sorry, I derailed it.
San Francisco 49ers, of course, losing a lot of talent on that offense, going into New Orleans. This one can be a little tricky.
Hard game for me.
This one is a little tricky. I'm gonna go. What's the under over on this? Do you know? Like
the
this is the
over,
one.
Like the line?
Yeah, This is one of the ones I gotta see what everybody else is thinking, because to me I feel like New Orleans is gonna get
plus
this.
+3.
Okay.
So it's a pick'em game. So that don't help you.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. I'm gonna have to go New Orleans. I'm gonna do New Orleans. I'm gonna go with Vinny on this one and do New Orleans.
I can see New Orleans winning.
Yes, you would think San Francisco's still talented enough to, without their quarterback, without their tight end.
Yeah, I could also see them turn around and handing it to McCaffrey. But
getting him
again,
hurt.
For my hatred of the Niners, I'm going to go with the Saints as well. Again, I think the 49ers can win, but they are just decimated. Remember, no George Kittle, right? He's out. Brock Purdy out. You got McCaffrey on one quad. Okay, and then you have a University
New Orleans
of
at home,
Miami,
Coyote.
wide receiver, right? Or is that who it was? Or no, who am I thinking of? Restrepo? Not Restrepo. Who was the
Ricky
Pearsall.
Pearsall, yeah.
University of Florida. Sorry, Florida. Ricky Pearsall. He's that's a great team. He's good, but man, I don't know. I'm gonna roll with the Saints at home here. I think they get the dub.
Yeah, I mean, and that was a back and forth one. I think you could go either way on that one. So the next one is a AFC matchup. Always tends to be a good game. I'm interested to see with new head coach in the Jets situation. You got Buffalo coming off of a very emotional win last week, coming back from behind, going into New York and playing the Jets. Do you see Buffalo just not falling behind in this game and actually taking this one?
Buffalo wire to wire, yes. I mean, it may be closer than what people are thinking just because, but yeah, I would definitely go with the Bills over the Jets. Jets are not a good football team. It's going to be an ugly year for the Jets.
Yeah.
So, yes.
So, yeah,
No
I would agree on that one.
TETS.
It's hard for me to, I think the Jets have a great it's hard for me to think that Justin Fields is going to be able to do it again, what he did last week.
Matt Jones is the backup. Yes. Philly D, appreciated, as Jody Matt appreciated. Me and Jody went. Philly D, a little inside story. I went through Major League vacations in 1992 on a trip, me and my brother with Jody McDonald, to see the Eagles versus the Dallas Cowboys at the then Texas Stadium. Yes. Quarterbacked by, I think Jim McMahon came in the second half, Philly D. So, yes, I was at that game. Anyway, sorry, we are circling back to...
So now we got the next game. We have a little bit of trade of teams. We got a McCaffrey type of game.
Yeah.
You got the Seattle Seahawks going into Pittsburgh, and facing that team. The team that was able to eke out a win last week. I think facing the Jets team that it just at times Aaron looked good and Aaron looked bad. So I'm interested to see what Aaron looks good against the Seattle team, and of course our old teammate DeMarcus Lawrence has a pretty good game. I'm not gonna just a nice stat line, pressures, being able to hold some people for loss, two tackles for losses or so from last week. Did pretty well. I think he did DeMarcus Lawrence type of numbers. So what do you see in this matchup, Seattle going into Pittsburgh?
I'm going to take the Steelers again. Ooh. I think the Steelers, I think they are just a better team, more talented on both sides of the ball. I think Seattle is not going to have a great year. I just don't.
I agree.
I believe they're in trouble, Seattle. And I like DK. Yeah. I like the Steelers. I like Aaron Rodgers in this game. Again, I think that I'm going to go Steelers.
I like everything you're saying, and I really honestly agree with it, but I'm going to go Seattle on this one. I think somehow they go in there and just somehow pull a game out of their butt and actually play well. At least make this media start talking about them for a week as a threat. So I think Seattle comes in there and actually takes care of business. I can't give you any backup statistics for it because it's just a gut feeling. But we'll see what ends up happening there. That's why I agree with a lot of what you're saying. When you look at the two matchups, I think Pittsburgh is definitely the better.
The line on the game, I'll give you the line. The line on the game is Steelers -3. So, again, this is a pick'em game as well. I'm just going to go with the home team.
Yeah, that's understandable.
I like DK. I just think that the defense...
You want to go against his old team and really kind of step it up.
Yeah, I think that's the way to go.
All right, so we got this next one. I'm interested in this one. This one's a little bit, some people are going to be interested. I think a majority of the league is not going to be interested in this at all. You got the Los Angeles Rams traveling to Tennessee to take on the Titans. I don't know how you tune into this game and on the edge of your seat, even if they are going back and forth.
It's a weird game, though,
It is.
man. And I'll only say I'm going to pick the Rams, but this is one of those games where probably everybody's picking the Rams, and all of a sudden you look down and the Titans are up by 10
That's when
points.
Ward actually all of a sudden pulls it out and starts doing well.
That's what I'm saying. Only because of the the out-of-conference game on the road, early time slot, right? It's a 1:00 game. So that's, just do the math. That's 10 o'clock in LA. That's a weird time slot. So look, this has upset written all over it.
I'm going to go with you. I think the Rams are just a way more talented team.
I think they can win. But if you're looking at a line, this is a game to look out for. Yeah. You would have thought they would have made it a 4:00 game. You're getting 5.5 points with the Titans. I think this is a close game. I think the Rams win this by like a field goal. Yeah. I think it's a close game, people, but I do believe that the Rams win the game. But this is one of those games, Phil, where you look at it on the card and you go, okay, what's wrong about this? It's lopsided. Well, again, they're playing at 10 in the morning, and I think that's a tough place to play. The Titans.
I already did that as man. Yeah, it's like the backed up batteries, man, that kick in. Now, on the next matchup, I'm interested in this one. The first 4:00 game that we have on the slate is the Carolina Panthers versus the Arizona Cardinals. And I'm just curious if anybody finds that exciting.
Only if you have Marvin Harrison and Kyler Murray and
I
company.
have them. So
I think Arizona kicks butt.
I think so
Arizona dominates the game. He's back.
Yeah, I agree on this one. It's Carolina looked terrible last week. Made Jacksonville look amazing. Is Jacksonville an amazing team? I'm not going to put them in that category yet. even if they even start the season 8-0, I'm still not going to probably put them in that category. But when you look at this, Carolina going into Arizona, I got to go with Arizona on this. I just think they're a more sounded team, just a little bit more of a fundamental football team, and is going to be able to smash Carolina in the mouth.
He's back, man. He landed right near me. That's all right. Keep going, brother. I'll be great.
You're going to give who wins, Carolina or Arizona?
The B. The B's going to win. This B is. Oh, I already said Arizona.
Okay.
Arizona wins big.
The real SWAT team. I like that. Jesse says, Brian, call it in the real SWAT team.
Well, this thing is moving like it's on steroids. I can't get a beat on it.
So AFC matchups, we have the Denver Broncos, which, I mean, did not look good last week offensively, but still, pulls out a win when it really, really counted. Sutton looking good. When you look at them going into Indianapolis looked good last week. Daniel Jones, let's see if he can, pull it together for 2 weeks in a row. But Denver's obviously traveling to Indianapolis for this matchup. Who do you have in this one? I think this one, to me, is a little bit closer than maybe the line is saying. But I'd have to really think about this, unless Bo Nix actually turns it on and actually goes. I almost have to go Indianapolis in this matchup. But I think Denver is the better team. I think Denver should win, but I'm going to go Indianapolis in this matchup.
This one, I thought Bo Nix let me down, even though they won. This is a tough game because I had high hopes for Denver. Denver played bad and still won the game. Give me the Denver Broncos. The Colts come back down to earth. Danny Dimes. I think Sean Payton goes into Indianapolis and wins the game.
I like it. So in this next game, we got the Super Bowl rematch.
All right, I threw Phil off at my bee killing.
Yeah. Sorry, now we're one less. They're gonna kill the earth. No. We got a Super Bowl matchup with the Philadelphia Eagles traveling to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs. I know who I have in this matchup. I think you're gonna have the same one. Who do you have winning this?
I have since changed my pick on this.
Okay, maybe not then.
Yeah, I'm going to go with coaching on this one. I really thought, oh man, Eagles. I don't think Kansas City's is going to go 0-2. I don't think they're losing at home. I think the Kansas City Chiefs win the game. I think they're able to run the ball. They look at what now Eagles will have Jalen Carter, so that'll be different. Again, I could be wrong. I originally was going to go Eagles, but after thinking about Andy Reid, revenge game, Isaiah Pacheco, no Dallas Goedert. I expect Eagles to win a close game, but I wouldn't.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Eagles on this one. I think.
Yeah, I know.
I think they'll. Whether it. Shut up, man. When getting closer passes or whatever it is, I think they get involved. You get AJ and Devontae Adams involved.
AJ is getting unruly already.
Smith, sorry guys. But you get Smith involved early. And get them going. I mean, get them get that defense to stretch a little bit, and I think you're going to find some success because, again, Kansas City I think really starts out the season really slow, and so I don't think Philly needs to be at their 100% best in order to be able to beat them. So I see Philly in this matchup going to 2-0, and nothing really surprising there. So we go into the next matchup. We have a barn burner here. Oh my God. And some young quarterbacks playing. We got the Atlanta Falcons going to Minnesota. Minnesota. Obviously coming back last week, winning after everybody kind of turned off their TVs. How do you see this game going? Is it going to be a surprise if one all of a sudden turns it on either? So
I think Minnesota Vikings win the game. I think Atlanta goes to 0-2, and I think Minnesota goes to 2-0.
Yeah, I would agree. I think Minnesota definitely has the better defense to be able to match up with Atlanta. Robinson is when I watch him, I think he's a great talent, but man, he's in his own head. Like he drops passes. There's just these things that he does after a great play. So So I feel like he's the running back of he's like the Jameis Winston's of running backs when it comes to Bijan Robinson right now and what he's doing in Atlanta. But when I look at this, I feel like Minnesota definitely stacks well and will allow J.J. McCarthy to kind of get rolling if he doesn't
It's a good
start
game.
off fast. Oh, I agree too, but I got
But
Minnesota.
I think the Vikings at home, tough place to play. J.J. McCarthy showed me something. Really had moxie on that final drive. I expect him to have a good game and build off of it. Minnesota might be an issue if they keep this up.
Yeah. So we got this next one. I think this is going to be a really good matchup because that was Sunday Night Football that we were talking about, Atlanta, Minnesota. Sunday Night Football. I guess you could have picked a lot more games with that. Would have been more exciting. But you got to give them their, you never know. It could be a barn burner as well that makes a classic. I think that's how those guys build their reputation. So switching to the other side, we have two Monday Night Football games. The first one being Tampa Bay versus the Houston Texans. I think that's a really good game potential.
Yeah.
And I feel like you could really pick either one. And you have so many reasons of why you pick these teams. Oh, it's in Houston.
I'll go Tampa Bay. I'll go Tampa Bay to get the 2-0. I didn't think Tampa was very good, and yet they still won. I expect them to be better. I think Houston's not a very good team. Again, C.J. Stroud, he's getting busted on because he put on some weight. Again, I think Tampa wins the game that goes to 2-0.
All right. Well, I'm going to go opposite on you. I'm going to take Houston in this matchup. I think they bounce back at least by this game. I think Baker puts in a hell of a performance, but I think it comes short at some point. But he's been more on those successful sides than he has been on those bad sides. So it's hard to predict that and think that's going to ultimately come true. He's proven that time and time again that he is tries, at least in his mind, be a winner even after he throws those interceptions. So I think a really good game there. The next one being Los Angeles Chargers versus the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah. This is arguably the hardest game on the card for me to pick, honestly. This one and the Eagles. I want to go Chargers here.
I want to go Chargers as well.
Yeah.
I think they're just a better team. They got the better. I think
They
got the better
impressed me
quarterback.
in Brazil. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely like the trajectory. But they're on Vegas. I still think even after a couple of games, I'm going to have that. Are they for real? Are they not for real? And I think even with the play, I don't care if they win one, lose one, win one, lose one, and I'm going, are they good? Are they not good? Well, if they win all of them, I'm gonna be like, are they good? Are they not good? If they lose them all, are they good? Are they not good? I don't think anything they do is going to make me think, this is definitely who they are. So I think that's just one of those type of teams. Obviously, that being the last one before we boomerang that bitch right back over to, of course, the Dallas Cowboys versus the New York Giants, hosting the New York Giants. New York going on the road for the second time. Going in Dallas, of course, hosting their first home game. I'm going to let you kind of take the floor on this one. I like it when you kind of started off and bring your take with the mailbox.
All right. Well, listen, man. This one's an easy one for me. The line of the game is Dallas minus 5.5. Okay. Dallas minus 5.5, and the line of the game is 44.5. Again, playing single high against the Dallas Cowboys with these weapons is I think you're asking for problems. I think it may be close for a little. I mean, here's a good opportunity for maybe them to bring in their rookie at some point, meaning the Giants. I think Dallas gets up pretty big on them. I got a final score. I got the Giants scoring in the second half and getting a 2-point conversion. The final score is going to be closer than the probably actual game, 30-21. But that's 2 touchdowns and 2 field goals.
Okay,
so that's
good.
30-21. So give me Cowboys minus 5.5.
And I think even if you have that score, you have to worry as a Cowboy fan. It's like, how did you let so much happen in the offense?
Well, you figure, I see Giants getting an early touchdown, and then I think Dallas goes on a run, and then maybe you give up a field goal, and then in the second half, maybe a field goal and a late touchdown with the rookie Jackson Dart. something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm seeing. 30-21 Cowboys should be a nice game. Again, you know how it goes, though.
Yes, I definitely. When I look at this game, I'm with you. I feel like, there's ones that we know that are happening. I think last week we knew it was happening. We were hoping that this team was going to be competitive. I loved it. For me to think that this team is going to come out and all of a sudden just drive down the field and score 2 touchdowns like they kind of opened up, that would be great every single week. But that's just not, that doesn't, it hasn't been the history there. You're hoping that this is a different team. There's a lot of the same leaders. Is Shoddy being able to call it more openly in the offense, and is that why you found the success early in this game? Are you going to get these guys involved? Is the running game? There's a lot of questions. I mean, that's a hell of a defense you're going to go against. So if all of a sudden you do stumble for a play and everything, and then by the time you're kicking it. So what I feel is that at some point this defense is going to match up very well against Dallas, whether it's early, whether it's middle of the game, whatever. I think at some point Dallas is going to struggle a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be enough to stop the overall onslaught that could possibly happen, whether it's offense, whether it's defense. I see Russell Wilson having a long day. I do see possibly 3 to 4 sacks by this defense. That doesn't mean we can go in there and get nothing at all, and that's true. Maybe we don't have that game changer or whatever stuff. So that's what we're trying to see, what type of team that we do have. So when I see this final score, whether it's a push at the end, push to whatever itself, I see the score not really being close by the end. And I think the score Cowboys 27 and I think New York 10. And I could see them scoring more than that and definitely having it a closer game because I know how these rivalry games are, and I think they are a very talented roster, even if they didn't play well last week. Will they click the switch and all of a sudden play well in this divisional game? That's going to be interesting to watch, and I think it'll make for interesting football. But I really feel confident, at least in this team, to be able to come in and beat a team that you're supposed to beat. But if you don't, I think you start to get a reputation. So I'm interested to see. We'll be here to be on your channel, right? We'll be on your channel to break it down and talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a 1 o'clock game, Phil. So that's cool, right?
See, Jesse, I love you, Jesse, but right now all your picks this year are hope scores. You hope. Yeah. You gave a hope score last week.
Hope score for us this week. It is kind of a hope score for us, but I fall back on Dak has won 13 in a row against the Giants. This is exactly what he needs. This is exactly what George Pickens needs. CD had 7 catches for 110 yards, and it could have been 200 yards easy last week if he just catches those balls. One was gone. He was gone. Again, I think the drops get cured. I think they get Shoddy his first win as an NFL head coach. How's that? How's that?
No, and I definitely like it there. But I think I'm with, if it happens there, all of a sudden whatever, score a 40 burger. If you're able to do any of that stuff, you enjoy it for 24 hours and then you move on because, again, the Giants are improving and, we all expect them to be on the bottom of the division. Them themselves, they don't expect that. G-Spot Jesse over there doesn't expect that either, so I don't blame
Jesse.
I do not blame him at all, man. That's my boy. Those are our boys. We got to give you shit. If we do not give you shit, that means we really
he can get high, his voice can get really high, so maybe you're right. G-Spot Jesse,
like where he has that I don't know if what was that on I Love You Man. I don't know if anybody's seen that movie where the guy give it all you got. No. I love messing with Momo, all this stuff. And we have a great chat that gives some great knowledge, some bickering back and forth. But hey, we wouldn't want it any other way, right?
Not any other way, man. Not any other way at all.
So, anything you want to cover before we kind of get out of here? Because I think we've covered quite a bit of this.
Yeah,
team.
We did good. And
talk about Jerry Jones and
Steve.
Stephen Jones.
My job when I get out of here is to find and destroy this bee because it's a big one. So once that happens, I'll be able to relax a little bit. I'm looking around like, where's he at? But man, I'm just waiting for this first win. Hopefully we can get it. We all felt like that how that game played out. It should have been last week, but it is what it is. We get to see him week 12, and hopefully both teams are healthy. And
hopefully we can get this win and.
We shut them up. But we need to get this one under now. Just remember, my son gets married next Sunday, so I need this win because I can't be 0-2 and then having to look, that's not a good deal. So let's go get the win on Sunday, and then that'll make next weekend that much more fun. You know what I'm saying?
So Bryan, man, I appreciate you coming through, man. We'll follow up the game on your channel on the post game show. But again, I appreciate you coming through, man. I appreciate everybody in the chat as well. We can't do this stuff without you guys. All the super chats definitely go back into this, or I try to up my game and teach myself a little bit more skills to kind of bring it a little bit, So I always need to be educated in that sense. But hey, and if you tick a nerve, Mr. T comes out, right? Bryan, again, I always appreciate you coming through. Anything you want to say?
I'm good. Ring that bell.
Yeah, you damn right. You ring that bell. All right, take it easy, guys.
That was ominous. What the was that? What the is this?
Se va, sáquenme la botella que funda para gastarle. Esta noche tú y yo nos vivimos la película. Luces, cámara, la acción, después en mi recámara. En el duelo no se sabe quién ganará. So baile, baby, ese seguro y retrocede. Que me encanta la manera en que tú lo mueves. Solo pégate un poquito, mami, que yo quiero enseñarte lo que yo tengo para ti. Lo que tengo para ti. Sé que te va a encantar.
Forgot what I was gonna say.